And we're back! Welcome to Crypto Comics, ladies and gentlemen, for Comics Greatest World from Dark Horse. It's a 16-week crossover. You've been following it the whole damn time. No need to waste much time, now is there? We've met quite a few phenomenal characters throughout this look at this comic book imprint, Comics Greatest World, including X, Ghost, Barbed Wire, and my favorite, Rebel. Oh, what a rebel. Now, this week, we take our first trip into Cinnabar Flats. That's the Cinnabar Flats logo, the Out of the Vortex logo. You'll find out soon enough. This is Division 13. This is week 1, which means that throughout the Comics Greatest World run, this would be the 13th issue published, introducing us to this really awesome-looking Malibu Comics group. Yeah, it does. It's these guys are going to team up with the X-Mutants later, and maybe Dinosaurs for Hire. You can check those out here in the playlist at Crypto Comics. So the X-Mutants actually surprisingly good. If you want to write comic books, man, X-Mutants #1 provides a blueprint for how you tell a story. It really does. Division 13, not so much. So let's just dive right into it. As always, our prologue sequence is by who? That's right, Mike Richardson, and art by Lee Weeks. Restricted area, authorized personnel only. If you didn't know, by the way, side note here on Crypto Comics, this is just a sidebar. Crypto Comics is available for the visually impaired. That's why I make sure to read everything. A flurry of activity takes place around the section of the Cinnabar Flats complex known as Block 13. The unlucky survivors of the Vortex have been brought here to be studied. Dozens of scientists work 24-hour shifts, trying to understand how men have been changed into monsters. In the end, the mutations are kept sedated until specially designed cells can be constructed. The decision has been made, and these once human creatures can never be freed. The main story script is by Randy Stradley, with pencils by Doug Mankey and inks by Randy Elliott. Sometimes I just like to announce people here. If you're new to Crypto Comics, sometimes I just like to, announce them like they're about to start a UFC fight. He is Randy the Inker Elliott. Elliott. Do they still do that? I don't know if they actually still do that anymore. Cinnabar Flats, U.S. Army Research Center, an oasis of modern technology in the midst of the stark, timeless wastes of Nevada's high desert. Behind these walls are the government's most closely guarded secrets, and to even get a peek inside requires a security clearance of the highest order. The two suspect vectors intersect here, brothers. This is the goal for which our brothers Medicine and Thamuz and our sister Byleth gave their lives. This, then, is the fortress of the heretic. Prepare to attack. Though lack of such clearance isn't likely to deter these latest arrivals. Hold! Our scans of the structure below do indeed indicate power of the magnitude we should expect from the heretic. But the readings are confused, erratic. What can it mean, Sister J-Con? It may mean naught, or it may be a trap set by the enemy. Let us investigate further, brothers. And then Congressman DeMarco shows up to meet Lieutenant Anderson here, who's a strong, independent woman in the military. And they really have no reason to be in here, It's just, they just show two people. They're strictly here for exposition. So, here's the Vortex, right? We saw the alien ship land, and then it covered itself with dirt. And then, the military figured out that there was something there, and so then they built a fortress around it, right? I mean, a bunch of other stuff happened. It's only on the very first page of each issue of Comics Greatest World. But here it's all going to get tied together now. Sort of. You'll see. Whoa, it's a lot bigger than I expected. That's what she said. Actually, no. Let's just go ahead and talk about the color scheme here. A higher security clearance is required to enter the blue areas, the portions of the original complex that have been deemed safe. You'll see that a little later. The sections indicated in purple
are off limits. You'll remember from your briefing that some of the personnel involved in the early investigations of the complex were infected with a kind of biotechno virus. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Is this something that Cable's involved in? I don't know. It might be. Maybe this is where young Nathan Summers was transported to when his deadbeat dad Cyclops thrust him into the future, pretending that he was going to save his life. But, if he hadn't done that, we wouldn't have Cable. So I guess, in some ways I can forgive Scott Summers for being a deadbeat dad. But in other ways I can't. Anyway, some of those infected were lucky. They lived or gained unique abilities, like Super Soldier 1A. What a great name. Who served in Korea and Vietnam. Some of them weren't so lucky. I wish we had an image of Super Soldier 1A. And what about the red area? See, the red area is over here. That's Block 13, where we keep the unlucky ones.
Block 13? Wasn't there an escape from there a couple months ago?
Yes, sir. But we've beefed up security. It won't happen again. Okay, so then you have these characters. See, she is a shapeshifter. Her name is Flux. And his name is Lamb, but I don't think that this is the way I don't know what's going on because they don't really have. They're escapees from Cell Block 13. And they got a blue guy with them. And he's cool looking. I like his outfit. Maybe he's just Apocalypse, I don't know. But I like his outfit. I would do a different color scheme, though. The color schemes in these comics, as you can tell here, very, very unusual color schemes. So yeah, they're gonna just try to break out, and it doesn't mean anything because they don't really have anything to do with anything else in the future.
He clears our path sevenfold by his grace. Let me just read this the way I've wanted to this whole time. He gives us life by his divine word. Transportation successful. The sign of the enemy is strong in this place. God, finally. I've been holding back a lot in my performance. Grr, what is it, girl? Girl? Tasha, for crying out loud, there's nothing there. Grr. Sister Jacon, the quadruped. I fear it somehow detects our presence.
Oh, isn't she just lovely?
Can I borrow a cigarette from you?
That's what this looks like to me. This looks like some trash you would see on 181st and Stark in Portland, Oregon, before Portland turned into a shithole. And then their boss up in their secret invisible starship says, "Remember what happened when a similar incident occurred to Brother Medicine."
It matters not, Brother Rimmon.
Can I just read it the way I want to?
It matters not, Brother Rimmon. The time for subterfuge is past. Adjust frequency harmonics.
Let me just... She's got to take a drag, right?
Adjust frequency harmonics to this plane, brothers. Recite with me the dual litanies of self-preservation and attack.
She just lifts up her stick and blasts them into nothingness. They just melts their faces off like they've just been exposed to the Ark in Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Condition red! Repeat! Condition red! We are under attack! And everybody's just melted into goop. And there's goop all over the walls here too, which I don't know why. That doesn't really make sense. Ba-boom! What was that? What happened, Lamb? The door dropped into place. Block 13 has been sealed. Betty, come in. What's going on? And there's this disembodied voice that talks to them from somewhere. It's out of my hands, Lamb. Some kind of emergency override. From all indications, this base is under attack. Attack? You mean they've detected us? No, it's not you. It's not good, Lamb. Please, you must trust me. Abort the mission. No, not now. Betty, we've come too far. Carolyn, we've got to get to Carolyn. And Carolyn is locked in here somewhere. And then they're going to fight the men in robot suits. And then these guys are just going to walk in like the boss. I really like these panels. It's really nice. And then they fight over here more, and the disembodied voice is trying to encourage them to stop. Just stop. Don't go back. Turn back. Go back. And then, not much time, but I have to know. Kish. Carolyn? Carolyn Forster? No, who? Who's it? She's, you know, a big freak now. And she's got a bomb. Flux, are you? I'm here. She's, you know, fluxes, morphs into this weird creature thing and comes through that little hole there. I'm here. I'm sorry. There wasn't time for Carolyn. Let's see, morphs again, back into a girl. Something went wrong with the detonator. The explosives didn't go off. What? If we're going, now's the time, people. Wrath is right. You must go. The big blue guy, his name is Wrath. But it doesn't matter. These characters don't matter at all. Damn, we were so close. Hello? Are you still there? So the big freak is in there and it's tick, 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 tick. Continued next week in Comics Greatest World, Hero Zero. There's big problems in Cinnabar Flats. Let's see what an excerpt from a top secret FBI memo says about Division 13. The Bureau's official line regarding Division 13 is that they are desperate, dangerous, single-minded fanatics bent on achieving their ends through terrorist tactics. Field agents are advised that this statement is not far from the truth. A shoot-on-sight order has been issued to all personnel. So there you go. That's Division 13. An entirely unmemorable comic book that is the 13th issue in Dark Horse's Comics Greatest World imprint, introducing us to a whole new universe. And we are going to come back on Crypto Comics next time with Hero Zero.